Hello everyone, this is Romario with a new Premodern video, and I've got a really fun one today. We got a new league on Magic Online. It's like, no, the leagues have been resetted. Not just for Premodern, I think for every format. Also, we have a new Premodern, basically, right? We don't, the recent banning of Parallax Tide. We're still trying to see what decks are going to rise to the top and like know what the meta is going to look like. I'm sure it's still going to be very blue for the majority of the time, but we'll see. Yeah, like I said, I have a very fun one for today where I'm going to be playing Ponza. But before we get to that, if you like Legacy, if you like Premodern and you haven't hit the subscribe button, I kindly ask you to do so. Helps the channel grow, more Legacy and Premodern content. Also, real quick, don't forget to check out the latest episode of Call of the Herd. Me and Kern had Elliot Fisher as a guest in the last episode. Elliot plays Premodern, plays Legacy. He goes by Fish Duggery on Magic Online and social media. He's also helping organizing Premodern events in the Vancouver area. In the episode, he also mentioned some of the other Premodern events that are happening in Canada. We talked about the last event that took place in Vancouver. Curran went to play there and did pretty well. I think he lost in the semifinals. So we went over his event. Actually, we talked about a bunch of stuff. The episode it's a long one, but it's a very fun one. We definitely went a little longer, but it was a very good conversation in my opinion. So go check it out. And there were a couple of times that we had some questions for the listeners. I'd love to hear some of the feedback and comments on the last episode. So yeah, coming back to this the video. So today I'm going to be playing Ponza. I wanted to play this style of deck for today's video. So my first source of inspiration was like my own account on Magic Online. Just kind of went over the mono red land destruction style decks that I had already on my account. The other one that I found that I thought I was gonna try to play was this old mono red control deck. This list is pretty cool, like in the fact that I really like Thawing Glaciers and I like Hammerbow Garden. But this list didn't have enough land destruction. I only had the 4 Pillages and the Dust Bowl and Wastelands. I could have maybe like retooled to have like some Stone Rings and Avalanche Riders. But then I remembered that I had this list in my account. And I can't remember if this was a list that I worked on or if I got it from someone else. I usually like to give credit to whoever I know. If I copy someone's list, I apologize. I cannot remember if this was one of them. It's probably like a very old list that I had on my MTGO account. So apologies if you're watching and you're like, hey, this is my list. No, I probably took it from you then. Or it could have been a list that I worked on and I just forgot. I know the mono red control list was a Phil Win list, aka MTG banding on social media. But this one I can't remember, but it's a pretty let's say stockish Ponza list. We're playing like a lot of lands. Usually I think Ponza usually stays at like around like 26 lands. We usually have the 4 Wastelands, 4 Rishadan Ports, and then the main lands, the Ghitu Encampments and Mishra's Factory. I'm not sure how often I see just one copy of Barbarian Ring, but I think the card's excellent. So having one copy and it's still in the same colors of the deck, right? Which is just mono red. I don't know why I said colors. It's in color and it's a colorless source of damage. So I don't know. Circular Protection Red, Mother Runes, things like that do not prevent Barbarian Ring. And it's also Barbarian Ring is just like a very good way to like deal the last little bit of damage. I feel like that happens a lot when I play against Sly. They probably do the math. I was like, all right, no, Fireblast, Lightning Bolt, whatever. Oh, I'm short 2 points of damage. Well, but my Fireblast was going to put the mountains in the graveyard. Then I have Threshold. Either way, kind of going on a tangent here. But yeah, Barbarian Ring, pretty good card, I think. I actually want to see how this card performs in this league because maybe it should be 2 of. I'm already playing 61 cards. And so maybe just 1 copy is enough, but we'll see. Then we have the 9 Mountains and I always like wonder why sometimes it's definitely like one of the older lists. I don't remember adding Mirage basics to my most recent lists, but either way, Then we have the 4 Phyrexian Furnace in the main deck. I think I mentioned a bunch of times already in this my videos that a lot of the decks in Premodern do interact with the graveyard, right? Like, no, even in funny ways like Threshold or Psychotog or just having Squee in the graveyard. Because again, I usually use my more. I play a lot more Legacy than I play in Premodern. When I think of graveyard, I think like people trying to do things like Reanimator, which is a deck that's also getting more popular. I think in Premodern. I think the last few times I played leagues and challenges, I have been paired into people trying to reanimate Akromas and Phantom Nishobas very early in the game. So having the 4 copies of Phyrexian Furnace, I think makes sense. Also like opens up a bunch of sideboard space, because now you have a card that's basically free in this deck, right? Like, we're running 26 lands. If you don't think it's going to do anything in that matchup, you don't have to cast it. You have other turn ones you can cast it. Like, you got Grim Lavamancer and Mogg Fanatics. So you don't have to necessarily just cast this on turn 1 if you have, if you don't think it's that important in the matchup. And then like, this deck is not really an aggro deck. So like, you're going to go long. So casting a Phyrexian Furnace on turn 10 and cycling is not the worst, right? And you always have the upside that like, if you are playing against a deck that cares about their graveyard, then this card is just like very, very good. And then we have some of the removal spells here. The numbers are kind of funky to me, but Firebolt, we got Firebolt, Lightning Bolt, and Incinerates, right? I'm just gonna name those 3 first because there are some more sources of damage in this deck. But the Firebolt, I guess it does make sense not to have 4 of them. It is a card that I have played in the past, like in Legacy even. But you're not really expecting to flashback like early in the game because it costs 5 mana and we're not playing any ramp. So drawing like an early one in the matchup against like any small creature matchup, like probably great at tagging a turn 1 lackey or just killing like an elf. Also, which probably comes up to if you're playing against Meddling Mage, I don't think that's a card that's like on a lot of people's radar, right? Like Lightning Bolt definitely gets named if they don't want to get burned. Incinerate's maybe not the one that they can name too. Firebolt, I don't think they're gonna name Firebolt, but I guess just a little corner case that could come up with Firebolt. Then we have 3 copies of Grim Lavamancer, and I was wondering like why not 4? We're not running fetch lands or anything that can fill up the graveyard very fast. So Lavamancer, it's not like in slide that you're activating like every turn because you're playing fetch lands and burn spells and again, going back to the Barbarian Ring, we're not running things like Pyroblast. So I think 3 copies seem fine. Obviously, only 1 or 2 wouldn't make sense. One of them gets killed, you don't get another one. But you also don't want to like have 2 of them on the board in this style of deck. I think 1 is the right number that you want to have active on during the game. And then of course 4 Lightning Bolts. That card is just the most efficient removal that we have in red. Then the 4 Mogg Fanatic, that's a great turn 1. It's a clock. It kills, again, some of the creatures I just mentioned, Goblin Lackey, like elves. Just very, very good, right? Dwarven Miner, that one, I was a little skeptical about this card because, 1, it does block, again, Goblin Lackey. It doesn't get pinged by Mogg Fanatic. Or it does, but it doesn't die. But It has the potential of being very good or just like very mediocre. There are a lot of man lands in the format. There are decks that sometimes play 0 or close to 0 basic lands in the format. So maybe this is very good. Or I feel like this card is really like one of the cards in this deck that even more so than Phyrexian Furnace, right? Because a 1/2 attacking or just blocking is not great. At least Phyrexian Furnace can turn into another card that maybe does something. If this creature is in play and you're facing a combo deck that like a mono blue storm, this card literally does nothing. But also another card that I'm kind of interested to see. I think I just got a play set of those in the mail recently for some reason. I think I just had it on my cart, and I got it from like my local LGS. I don't remember, but so we'll see. If the card's cool, I might be sleeving up this deck with some Dwarven Miners. Then I guess I mentioned already Incinerate. It does have also the clause that says no, it can regenerate this turn. So maybe that will do something. But it's just like another burn spell that we have to kind of supplement the lightning bolts. Then we have 3 copies of Stone Ray and 4 copies of Pillage. Like I said, I wanted like a list that had more land destruction, right? So this one's got 7 and then 10 with the Avalanche Riders, right? And of course, we always have the Rishadan Ports and Wastelands. They are sort of like land destruction too. You know what? I think I just remember why I put some Mirage Mountains, because I did choose the Mirage art for those 2 cards too. I knew there was a reason for it. Anyways, and then the Sweepers. This is like, maybe that's what I was saying. Like maybe it's not one of my lists, because I used to do that like when I wasn't really sure which one I like to play. So there's like a copy of Shard Phoenix, a copy of Pyrokinesis, and a copy of Earthquake. They all kind of do the same thing, but not really. So when you're not sure which one you want to play at the same effect, I used to like to do one of each, but usually I do that like in blue decks that you get to look at more cards, right? This one here is not as good, right? You could draw the wrong one and not do anything, right? So, but again, I think Shard Phoenix is very, very good in this style deck. Earthquake and Pyrokinesis, maybe. Earthquake is damage too, so maybe that part comes up. Pyrokinesis is, I mean, yeah, if I get paired into goblins and elves, pretty great. But it's just like a removal spell. Like it also kills like, I mean, it is a removal spell, but it like, you can kill like things like unflip Exalted Angel, or I guess the mono black aggro decks too. Like this card is probably not terrible. You're not killing as many creatures, but killing like the shadow or the shade, the 2/1 and 2-co creature might be relevant. Either way, going over to the sideboard, clearly this deck, is trying to like not lose to Phyrexian Dreadnought. And the sad thing is that I think even if I have all these cards here, I think you can still lose to Dreadnought. We have the removal for, of course, the 12/12, and then we have the 6 blast effects. I think this also should be like different. It should be like 4 Pyroblast and then 2 Red Elemental Blasts, or maybe even like a split of 3 and 3. But regardless, this might be a configuration that's enough to like not lose to Phyrexian Dreadnought. And then we have 2 copies of Boil that I'm not really sure if the card is like really playable in Premodern, but maybe because I think I had this conversation about Choke in Premodern. Every time I run a green deck, I always think like, oh, maybe I should put some chokes on the sideboard. I even talk about like in Enchantress. But it seems like the blue decks in the format, they either have ways to get around it. Like, if it's a very efficient deck, they have gushes, right? Blue-white control decks, they have so many non-island source of blue mana that they can probably just ignore it. I remember casting Carpet of Flowers versus blue-white control, and Carpet of Flowers either just producing 1 mana each turn, or sometimes like 0 mana. They'll have a tower, other card wastes, and a fairy conclave, and then just like you're in that case like Carpet of Flowers didn't do enough. I feel like Boil might be in the same category, so I don't know. I'll have to see like after this league like how I feel about it, and if I do well, like I might run a league again with this deck just to test. But I think like Boil could definitely be something else, like and like I said, it could even be an extra card that's good against Dreadnought, because I think this might be a hole in this deck. Or I think in the mono red control deck, we had a copy of Gaia's Blessing, so maybe that's something we can do here too. I can add another blast effect and or another overload, and just have like 1 copy of Gaia's Blessing in this deck. Not really sure. I think Boil is definitely the one that's like iffy. Then we have 2 copies of Anarchy. Circular Protection Red is a card that's being played in this format. Enchantress is also a very good deck. Anarchy, not as good in that against that deck, but it definitely does something against certain versions of Enchantress. So I think it's definitely something you should have here. Mostly Circular Protection Red. And then we have 2 copies of Zuran Orb. That's probably just like for Sly. We do have a lot of lands that we can stack with this deck. I don't know if that's enough by itself to beat Sly, but it definitely does something. Yeah, so we're gonna play Ponza today. Pretty excited. I think that's now that Tide is out of the format, I think maybe there's space for decks like this to do well. Yeah, we're gonna get started. I'm gonna try to find an opponent for round one. And again, if you like Legacy, if you like Premodern, hit the follow button, hit the subscribe button, and leave your comments below. All right, so we're here for round one. I will be on the draw. I'm gonna pick up one of these decks that have been on my account for a while. Like, I don't remember what was my reasoning to choose the basic lands that I choose. I had more like Mirage cards, maybe. I'm playing Elves. Pretty basic land. Doing my best impression here of a what you call a slide deck. So I don't know if I want to play the encampments. I don't think I need to right now because I do have enough mana to cast all my stuff. If I play a mountain, it'll look like I'm well, as soon as I play Phyrexian Furnace, they'll know that I'm not Sly. All right, so they have access to at least three mana now. Priest of Titania. Multi exact like. All right, so they're probably just gonna pick this up and make it on the mana. Pretty standard pattern. I'm going to Wasteland that. I think I'm gonna lose a Firebolt and just put this thing right now. Seems bad, but I don't know if I have any sweepers. That's the main deck. Well, I do have I have Pyrokinesis. Okay. I'm gonna try to exile a squee. Nasty. Second. Thinking matters if probably should take the opportunity now to encampment. Ping this thing first. 5, I guess. Maybe hold one off. My score is going to be a problem unless I draw. I even need to draw. I take. They're the same. No, is it the same clock? So if they swing for 5, I go to 11, 6, 1. That's 3 turns. If they swing with Massacre on, is like 12, 8, 0. It does make a difference. Massacre might just solo me here. Hmm. Elf is, I mean, the miners. Pillage can deal with. Mogg Fanatic just kills it. Dwarven Miner, they have to tap, kill it. I think I'm gonna kill the elf. Miner doesn't seem very exciting. If they discard, the problem also if they discard a card and don't have mana for regenerate, they might run into the double burn spell Massacre and then you do, huh? Alright, almost at the point that I have to cash in on this furnace. Oh, does it only cost? It's 3 to activate. Encampment's pretty good at fighting in combat, but not good at in the face of a Massacre. But it could double ping Miner. It just buys me a turn. They don't. They're gonna regenerate. Ring Ranger. Ah, that's what they were thinking about casting. Ring Ranger can pick up a force, and I have to block here all I can. Yes. An attack. Go to 3, and at this point, I have to sacrifice my Phyrexian Furnace. When I eat in rain, doesn't matter. Matters in the sense that they can't getting my Mishra factory. I guess. Factory down. I tap 2 lands and play 1 second. Tap 2. I still have nothing. Okay, yeah. Pepsi's. Incinerate. That's huh. I'm short 1 mana to be able to double block. All right. Well, I mean, they're not going to play the lands this turn, so. I feel like I messed up somewhere here. Did I do my... If it was in paper, it would be a little easier for me to like organize my lands and figure out like when I need 2 mana to Ghitu Encampment. Not an excuse, but just makes it a little easier. Because something for a second. So if I need 4 mana to activate both Ghitu Encampments. It's right here. So I don't have enough to do everything I want. They don't have 3 mana, so I think I can just go ahead and both. Or if they top deck a land, then they can just ping in and kill me. Yeah. I mean, it's kind of the same thing, I guess, if I be honest, right? Because they can just try to high roll here and ping this guy. I don't know, if they see the line, I'm sure. Yeah, I think the line there would have been to King Dwarven Miner, right? Then if they draw another land, they just attack for the kill. Maybe they didn't. So Mishra's factory, they can't ping because not creature. I mean, all this stuff's gonna happen. All right, so if I tap 2, or I can use the 2 Rishadan Ports here. Yeah, they can't possibly deal 2 damage to Mishra's factory. But again, I do need to draw either I guess Pillage drawing creatures. Can't attack. Second. Gotta get an Oracle deck on a card. All right. I had to clarify something on the text on the card. All right, so this. Actually, hold on a sec. Pocket. All right, then erase this, whatever they can top deck. There were a couple of times I could have, I think, double blocked with the encampments, but I don't know if it was. The creatures will have haste now because they have anger, and I don't have anything. Asking for 1. All right, bolt. All right, so did this so I don't get surprise attacked. Actually, I can. Guess I lose to Elvish Champion. That was a very tight game. I just realized I don't have any sweepers really, except for Phoenix and Park. I mean, I do have the earthquakes. I do have a spread, I guess, of the type of effects. But sadly, it looks like I have 0 sideboard. Overload? I don't. Yeah, I think I'm just gonna. I'm just gonna ship it back. The only card that kind of makes sense to me here is Overload. In case I have like Tangle Wire, I guess. I don't. What is a standard? Oh, I guess I was looking at this deck. What's the standard elves list now? Because I'm not gonna look at my opponent's list. I'm just gonna. Well, I guess Masticore, right? You know what? Maybe that's better. So if they have Tangle Wire or just try to Master. Because Dwarven Miner, it just destroys non-basic land. So like, what am I gonna destroy? A Gaia's Cradle, but I already have the Wastelands and there you go. I think kind of fine. Okay, one second. I don't have any mountains. Oh my gosh. What did I? Okay. All right. Didn't. For some reason, thought I had a mountain in my hand. I drew a mountain. Never punished, I guess. All right, let's kill the elf. Okay. Boss. Next turn I can Stone Rain them, or for some reason they put a Guy's Crit in play. I can Wasteland and then okay. This out. I'm survival in play. The whole game now revolves around this card. Trying to set up like creatures with haste and stuff. So I think I just need to draw like a Pyrokinesis, I guess, or Phyrexian Furnace wouldn't be bad neither. So this. I mean, I guess it's good practice, but I don't think it matters. Answer. I guess I play man. I was just gonna like pass import them, but so anger doesn't do much now that I'm assuming they only have one mountain in their deck, so Ranger, that's if you have it. The only problem with Queen Ranger, if you don't have a creature to untap to produce mana, it's not as good. Well, there's another one. There's speaking of which. I'm gonna kill this guy now. That matters. See. Activates. If they have a creature in here. Actually doesn't matter. The mana, same thing. Don't have mana to Ranger. I mean, Horn Elf. I'm gonna kill. You probably thought about picking up before. Hmm. We have enough fuel for Lava Man. Let's see. Sorry about that text message here that I had to answer real quick. I can't really attack. Tapsies. Okay, so now it's kind of problematic. Actually make a lot of mana. Master Core. Came handy again. Destroy target effect. Mana values. Oh. Wow, that was a good sequencing of cards for me to draw. I have to be aware of is the clock now. Minutes behind. Try to do the Rishadan Port as quick as I can. And that's probably what's holding me back here. Because they're in 19 lives. It was a little less than start. Oh. This is actually relevant because now I have 3 creatures. I actually have possibly so that makes a huge. I draw, take out one of the Wall of Blossoms. It was gonna be a lot of work just to get like 2 points of damage through every turn. It worked out. 5 points at something. Alright. GG. We're gonna go to time. I mean, possibly. Yeah, maybe. I have some pretty good draws next few turns, but yeah, I mean, we'll play the Wall of Blossom plan actually made a lot of sense there. This is a list that I had in my account for a while. I wanted to try, but I didn't think it was well positioned in the meta previously. So yeah. All right, so we got the first win. Let's see if we can continue the good streak of after one match. All right. All right, so we are here for round 2. Oof, no, I don't think I can keep this one. Oh, another hand with no mountains. I am not gonna. Well, haven't worked out, but all right. I guess I'm gonna keep this one. Barbarian can go back. Get me one of the bolt. His deck is running 26 lands, and I still on a hand with no lands. Oh, see, I knew my opponent was playing Black Vice, so I was like, go down Mulligan, right? I'll play a mountain. Alright, so if there's stasis, it's just better for me to just go ahead and lightning bolt them because I don't think I have any. I don't think they're gonna have any targets, right? If I could draw, I guess. I don't know how this matchup goes. Like, pretty bored. Probably not good for me. After sideboard, I do have the Pyroblast and the stuff to destroy artifacts, I guess. Boil. Forgot about Boil. Boil's an instant too. Holy crap. Alright. A little better about my chances in post board game. It'd be nice now if I drew Stone Ring. Go ahead, keep in them. That makes sense too. This guy. And that's funny if they. Never mind. I was gonna say if they gush, I have to destroy one of my lands. These also make sense too. I play the miner. I want to counter that. Okay. I think it's more important for me to not have cards in my hand. I think a miner does a whole lot for them. So it's funny. When I say miner, sounds like I'm saying miner. Impulse. Could have taken my time and like just kept porting them instead of Avalanche Riders. I mean, I guess it wasn't gonna matter that much because if I tried Avalanche Rider, and even if it doesn't counter, it'll still pick up their island, right? It wouldn't really matter, I guess. My opponent found a third land. I'll swing for one. It's gonna be a long game too. Ah, there's a Forsaken City. Alright, so I don't have to use the Wasteland, I guess. I can just Dwarven Miner. It's like Incinerate. I was about to say Lightning Bolt. Actually, doesn't even matter for the Forsaken City. As far as the timing when we do things here. What if it's just easier? No, I think I'm just gonna do this. What a card is for. I'm ring one of my lands. Okay. The Forsaken City. Nah, I'm good. It makes sense. It's time to just Wasteland them. Yep. I think the thing with it's hard for Black Vice to do anything early in the game. One, I'm only going kind of low. And two, again, going back to the point that my deck just runs a lot of lands, and making land drops to this deck's not an issue. I don't know if the Phyrexian Furnace does anything here, but you know what? Maybe I should just draw a card. Okay, so I guess they gotta have a gush or something, right? Not Chain of Vapor. Okay. don't have to do anything until I guess I get to 6 cards in hand, and then it becomes a let me see. So 15 becomes a very fast clock if I go up to 6 cards. Not what I had in mind to draw. Can pay one more turn. I guess the question is, if I don't guess anything, all right, let's see. If they cast, I guess, Gush here. Okay. What I was thinking. Then I can try to pillage that. That doesn't work, then I think the game, right? We did have 7 cards in hand, so I'm sure. Thwart. Okay. All right, we're gonna go to game 2. Maybe I got a little too hasty there with the Rishadan Ports, but all right. So we got oil, Pyroblast, and I'm gonna bring a pile of things like this. Bring the overload too, and I don't think I need any of this. Oops. Do anything here? Really like Firebolt. Neither. Phoenix. Okay, I think I probably just win like with one Mogg Fanatic. I think Avalanche Riders. And two. Oh, running 61 cards. Yes, I am. All right, one is deep in the tank there. Yep, I think I like this one. I'm gonna take some damage from Barbarian Ring, but I think it's a-okay. I'm just gonna. Well, I should probably play the land after combat, but sort of irrelevant here. All right, so I think I played a miner. All right, you want to counter spell? Do they have like stasis now? Maybe you can have stasis on turn 2 or turn 3. Maybe not. I think I've definitely been locked out of the game by turn 3. It's not common, but I guess if they have a Forsaken City plus some cards to bounce your stasis. Hmm. Think about this one because I could tap one of them. Should I wait maybe? All right. The problem, I don't have double red or Pillage. All right, so I'm gonna wait for them to. Actually, hold on a second. I'll tap this now. I think it makes more sense. And then they have to have Foil Island. I think I should have. No, it wouldn't be good. They're gonna tap that. They had a daze. I think I'm getting my timing wrong here. Maybe I should just let this resolve. No, they had Blue Elemental Blast. I don't think I was gonna have a chance to do anything here. I really need a second red too. All right. Well, I think they're stuck with Powder Keg. Okay. 2 cards until they draw Gush or something. Ooh, that's a clock. guess, like I said, I was thinking maybe if I wait until this point to try to destroy Stasis. But they would have 2 cards in hand, so maybe, yeah. Alright, I mean, I still have like a few more Pyroblast type of effect in the deck, so. And they only have 1 Black Vise. Oh. Keep playing until I draw a Mountain and a Pyroblast. Hopefully that's before Stasis kills me. Because if I draw a second, well, no, it's kind of risky. I could, if I draw a second Mountain, then I could pillage the Forsaken City. I guess if I draw Wasteland, that works too. Yeah, but then I could lose to a daze, so let's not do anything too hasty here this time. If I take out the Black Vise, they have no clock. I'm gonna take one more draw step. I really think if I just, I'm a little patient now, I should be alright, I guess. Do I? Maybe I should just wait for them to pay for it. No, they have to pay for it. They can't just not pay for it. Well, like now I just have all the time in the world. Alright, so if I do win this game, I really gotta try to play game 3 a little tighter than what I did in game 2. I feel like this one is fine because again they don't have a way to kill me right now. And I do have another overloading hand. But definitely didn't play as well as I should. I feel like right now they're just threading water, right? Unless they draw a gush. Yeah, Avalanche Riders just cost too much mana. The 4-drop I'm trying to cast here is a boil. Land. Not very good. I'm just play tapped. One doesn't, but it's not. Again, I don't want to try to play into a daze. Because daze does 2 things, right? It card back in their hands and protects their Forsaken City. Now they only have 1 card in hand, so and I didn't draw second land. I guess Incinerate can go, I guess. I honestly don't think any of those cards matter now. Maybe some of the land destruction can kick rocks. All right, so I guess that's when we do this, right? And then I shouldn't be able to pay for it. Only if they like gush into, I don't know, gush into days, I guess, then they can pay for one turn. Ah, it was the days they had this time. That is crazy. The timing on this game is hilarious. I couldn't pay for anything. I'll get to untap. I'm going to try to boil my opponent. Okay, about total now, I guess. All right. I'm gonna ship it back, I guess. I wonder if Zuran Orb makes sense as a zero drop that lands there tapped. You know what? I don't know. I'm gonna try this. The lands there tapped, they don't really do anything, right? And you could buy me a couple of turns. Because Incinerate, like what? It just literally just what it is, right? It's just a 2 mana, deal 3 damage to them. Doesn't even, I mean, they don't have any possible targets. They did show me like powder keg, so I don't know. Maybe it's not as good as an idea as it is, but. All right, I got some lands and a Pyroblast. I'm gonna keep. A Captor 7. No turn 1. Black Vice. It's a big deal. I think I'm just gonna play this thing and pass. I guess I was wondering if like maybe there was something I could have done different, like maybe Incinerate was a little better than Lavaman. So I should tap this at the end of the turn, right? If they don't cast anything. Dust Bowl. Wow. That is that's a statement there. Yep, you bowled my dust. Or dust my bowl. So then they don't want to untap their Forsaken City. Interesting. I guess it makes sense if they're not gonna combo this turn, right? Because they had the Dwarven Miners here. Huh. 1 point of damage. Pillage. I mean, clearly this is another blue elemental blast, right? Or could it even be brain freeze. Would it brain freeze be even a strategy against me here? That does. All right. I think now I can start trying to cast my stuff. I'm gonna counter this. Yeah, if it's a Hydroblast, oh. Almost paid for it. It's like when people pay for a daze with a spell. I mean, counter a daze with a spell pierce. That was a legacy only joke, I guess. I guess mountain and back. I'll play the Lava Man now. Like Vice, a little ways from doing anything now, which is kind of where I want it to be. For 3, I mean, I wish it was 3. For 1. And so they're 13 life. Damage. I don't think it matters what I'm dialing. It's part of the game that like I would like to actually draw Boil. Puts a little bit of pressure on them. I just realized it's Barbarian Ring. Never gonna be active in this game. And drop stasis. Alright. And now we're gonna be very patient. I wonder if it was like a Hail Mary phases, like I need something to happen here. We good again? Okay, so I think I'm gonna try to do this now. All right, I'm just gonna destroy this too. I'll tap the Mishra's factory instead of one of the mountains, I think, but. Oh. What we're doing? So that's 2 damage. Do we have enough to kill them? 4, 5. Right, tap 2, 4, 5, 6, 7, 10. I've got 5 cards, so I could have 7 for this. I think I have enough. Five, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. It's actually 6, right? Because the Mogg Fanatic will do another point of damage. I think I'm a little short if they have a Hydroblast. Okay, so they'll take 1. There's resolves in there. I guess I could have foil. Days. Yeah, I think I'll pay for the days. Okay, I'll just. I said GG's. Okay. GG's. That was kind of a long game too. The first 2 rounds were not very short games, but I guess that's what I mean. Ponza is not a very fast deck, and Phase is also not a very fast deck. So that was round 2. Let's see if can live the 3-2 dream. All right, so we're back here for round 3. I think this is a keepable hand. I don't quite curve out. I don't think I have enough the drops in this deck to quote unquote curve out anyways. All right, so we got a Grim Lavamancer. It's probably gonna eat a Source of Plowshares. Okay. I kind of like to draw a Rishadan Port here. Yeah, it's kind of like a Rishadan Port. Wasteland wouldn't be bad neither. And I think I'm going to start jamming my land destruction spells. I might try to hit the basic lands because, again, if I draw Wasteland, then I'd rather use that on the, well, I can only use in a non-basic land, so. Also have the dwarf too, I guess. The miner. Earthquake, nah, not the greatest here, but some sorts of plowshares. Okay. Sweet. Guess I'll play this thing. This. The way the man lands work on Magic Online is so not intuitive. You have another source of plowshares? Is it 2 or 3 of them? Oh, it's 3 of them. Alright, they drew a 3rd land. Morph. Okay, I am going to kill that morph with a firebolt. Was an angel. Okay. Actually, let me just eat on the spells. Yeah. Didn't matter then. Like if I draw Wasteland or Rishadan Port, it might change my plans, but I didn't, so it didn't matter. And now we draw Wasteland. Okay. Alright, so we're gonna go to game 2. I think I do want these. Another matchup that just does not do anything. I don't like Pyrokinesis or Pyrokinesis or Earthquake. Huh. I'm not really sure I want to side out here. I'm sure I want a number of red elemental blasts and stuff, right? Because I mean, you don't have to worry about tide anymore, but it'd be nice to help my cards resolve. Like those blue-white decks, they have a lot of like non-basic. I like Mogg Fanatic. I like Avalanche Riders. Is Incinerate the other card? I mean, Incinerate. It's not. Maybe. No, I'm gonna shave a Lavamancer because. But all of them. Lavamancer gives me a little bit of reach, but you know what? Maybe the Lavamancer's could Incinerate. I just like. I don't think Incinerate like meshes very well with the overall strategy of this deck, unless I'm playing against another creature deck, right? That I want to have more removal spells. Of course, like in decks like Sly, Incinerate's great because you know Sly almost sometimes play like a combo deck, right? Like no, it's 3, 6, and then you do to like progressively start dealing more damage every turn. This is like basically like a mono red control deck. So I think I'm just gonna port them first. Not really sure if it matters which one I port. All right. My opponent now this time they did draw all their lands. I'll try to guess this guy. It's probably gonna get a source of plowshares. Um, I think the factory is fine. I can always just like tap it. It's only controlled. All right, so I can attack. I want to trade these. We can. Actually, in a way, I do want them to trade because it's still in destruction, and I can untap next turn and just play Pillage. Gonna pass. I was thinking about playing Mogg Fanatic, but I don't think. Alright, if this is a fact or fiction, I think I need to blast. I only have 4 cards in hand, so I don't want to keep them at. Not get too far ahead. A little bit of protection. Okay. I guess I'm still gonna go after the planes. I guess it was like a case. I mean, a reason for me to port them before casting the pillage. On that, it's an angel. All right, let's write that. I guess they land and a swing. And F6 actually. Oh, kill that guy. Price is adverted. Tap that. Go into the next phase. Mishra's factory. Okay. We're gonna. All right, so I have 5 cards in the graveyard. He's pretty good. All right. No, I should attack with the encampment. Let's say encampment. All right, let's guess if I'm gonna tap that. I have a winner to attack here. Maybe not. I think I'm gonna cast this just even if it doesn't work out, then I can at least kill the morph. I don't think I can deal with an angel after extremely hard. Tap that first. Activate. This is red. It is a red creature, right? He's my lava man. Alright, so now I think I'm gonna start tapping their lands to make colored mana. Ooh, it's an island. Okay. Let's tap this, yes. AK. They're 9, so I think it makes sense to start this. They have a Source of Plowshares. No. I don't think it matters too much here. Self-cleansing. That's awkward. I mean, I think I just have to push damage through, I guess. And kill one of them. What are we gonna do? Yeah. Let's tap that then. Oh. Oh, we already had to go into attacks. Never mind. I thought I missed the pump ability. Not true. Alright. So guess I'm dead to no. Alright. Cool. That was round 3. Alright, let's see if we can I guess we're still living we're definitely gonna live the 3-2 dream, so alright. Alright, so this is round 4. I'll be on the play. Yeah, I think that's cool. I can either be like a bootleg slide deck, or I can take more like a control role here. Okay, well, the cat's out of the bag now. Aha, instead of ball lightnings and Pyroblast, I've got Stone Rains and Phyrexian Furnace. Alright, so it's like they might be on whatchamacall? Sakatog. I'm gonna take it easy here. We're gonna try to destroy their lands. Yeah, I'm just gonna go ahead and do this. Didn't look like okay, so they don't know about the second. second one destruction spell I have, so. So that's the importance of casting a spell after combat. Impulse. All right. I think I established that is gotta be second talk, right? All right, so they. Ooh, that's really good. I'm gonna keep going after their blue mana. And the question is, do I even... I don't think I'm going to pay for Avalanche Riders. They're 12. Do they run Vendetta in this deck anymore? I'm not sure. I guess I'm about to find out if they do. I think Vendetta deals damage equals to the... Is it toughness, right? I think. Okay. We're gonna go to game 3. I mean game 2, sorry. I think I just want these. And I think I'll give the Phyrexian Furnace. Again, I don't think these are very good. I mean, even a Firebolt and Incinerate probably come out. Boil seems interesting, but I don't think it's good. And I was thinking you can shave the Shard Phoenix, and I'm gonna put one Overload. Dwarven Miners. Yeah, you know what? I really think that they have what's the name of that card? Saba's Web in their deck. Saba's Web is a pain in the ass for the type of deck I'm playing. Alright, so I think this is alright. They harass me, I wasteland them. Life goes on. They probably take Stone Rain here, right? I don't think Lightning Bolt's not that great against their deck. Just like something that gives me a little bit of reach. Excuse me. So they know about the second Wasteland, so it's like, we're gonna play another Underground River. I'm not actually sure how many copies of this card they're playing these days. I think last time I played this deck, I had 4. But I understand that those things change over time. The Hydroblast's Bowl threat. I said the Miner most likely is not gonna do anything. I was even wondering if like maybe I should just bring the one boil. I think the only land that they play that's non-basic is the Underground River. Oh well, they have. I guess they do have 2. Oh, Ivory Tower. All right, that's another reason for me to have whatchamacall. I was gonna say detonate overloads. Is this a pyroblastable effect? Or a hydroblastable effect? Or threat? So that's what they were thinking about if they want to put a second underground river. Alright, so if they don't play a land, I'm just gonna take the time to cast Dwarven Miner. Or take the time, I mean like take the turn to do that. Also, Ivory Tower obviously is good against a red deck, but is it really that good? Okay, so since they didn't play a land, I am just gonna try to Rishadan Port them. I'll pass. Puts trigger in a sec, draws a card at port. Hold on, did they? I was trying to figure out if they. It doesn't say if they shuffled, right? Okay. I guess they didn't. I think that's how it works on Magic Online. Like if they don't use it, then it doesn't say anything. This one just cycled, right? So cast Portent, target themselves. Yeah, I really want to see what if Portent, why it doesn't say actually no, what's easy for me to see. Put a chat there for some reason. Decline support. Okay, so this one they didn't shuffle. That's what it is. I get it now. Alright. Well, really wish I had a second red mana. Okay, so if we go to game 3, I think I'm gonna bring the boil. Seems like it could be more useful than Dwarven Miner. I feel like the game goes longer, than boil is just much better than that card. Basically, top decking this is way worse than top decking boil. Then important again. And the thing is, even if I draw a red source, like is even worth the time to pillage them? Maybe like if they're trying to cast Factor Fiction, I guess. Maybe you have to cut them off of that. They declined, so they drew it again. Speaking of the devil, I'm asking for 2. This is like the most anemic clock I can have now. I'm playing on the Mogg Fanatic. I want to note that this Ivory Tower has been in play since turn 2. And it has triggered 0 times. Are they gonna like finally AK? Oh, they're gonna kill my thing. Yeah, that Ivory Tower guess is never gonna do anything, I guess. I'm not sure. I don't even think I want to use overload on that. I'm just gonna attack for 2, and then we're trying to port the thing. I think I mean the underground river. Oh, it's an honest 5-mana gush. All right, let me see if it makes sense to lightning bolt. Maybe I should have done it before they drew with gush. I'm just gonna do it now. Go to 8. That's what? 4, 5, 6. If I draw a land, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. It doesn't matter if I did like this with this guy. Okay, cool. All right. I guess we won't be leaving the 3-2 dream. Let's see if we can get the last W in this league. All right, so we're here for the 5th and final round. We are playing for new season. It'd be kind of cool to get a trophy. Yeah, I think I'm gonna keep this one. As we start the Phyrexian Furnace. Pass. Only thing about doing this is that if my opponents think I'm playing any other deck now, they can probably guess it's some kind of mono red control deck. We're playing in Sly in the last round. That'll be. I think Sly probably is not very easy for this deck actually. All right, let's open the mirror. Goblins, I guess, maybe. I think it's more likely to be goblins, right? Because they don't wasteland me. Okay. Oh, yeah, probably goblins. All right, so I'll play this nice Ghitu Encampment. I do have those sweepers in my deck though, so it's maybe they're gonna come handy now. Rishadan Port. And it's goblins. Alright. So we're gonna bolt that guy. And oops, I'm gonna play land. Just don't rain that. I should probably pillage, but I don't think it matters. I should be able to destroy 2 lands again the next turn. Ah. Pretty convenient. Alright, so Barbarian Ring doesn't do anything at the moment, so I don't think I just want to put Barbarian Ring in the battlefield and then gets wastelanded. I don't. The attack, I'll block. I'm not scared of anything. Pyrokinesis, whatever. Miner. And I'm going to get frisky with my Ghitu Encampment. Kind of a fast clock now, actually. Especially since I have 5 points of damage in hand. If this guy attacks by himself, it's just a 1-2, right? Yeah. I don't think I'm at the point that I can. And start maybe a bolt them at the end of this turn. Because they're gonna be at, if they take the damage here, right? They go to 9, 6, 4. Yeah, then they're forced to block. And if I draw a burn spell, I think I definitely bolt them at the end of this turn. Some goblins lists like run Pyrokinesis in the main deck. That's the only thing I was concerned here, but it doesn't seem like they're doing it. They got a Mogg Fanatic. That's a little annoying. All right, I'm just gonna go ahead and bolt them, put them at 5. And also, like if I draw a land, then another burn spell. I'm sorry. Oh, that's that too. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It does, right? Because that's 6 points of damage. Oh, but I don't have. I forgot that I don't have the thing. That was not smart of me. Yep, that was pretty stupid. All right, I mean, I'm so like, I think I'm so far ahead here that it's not gonna matter. Like, I can still do the same play, but it was definitely, I forgot that Barbarian Ring is not just free. All right, so now we part that I meant to do last turn. Shoot it down, and then I'll make this way more complicated than it needed to be. All right, so now we're playing against a deck that it's different than the other ones I played this league. The Phyrexian Furnace definitely worse than Zuran Orb, right? Now, does goblins even run any artifacts that I care about? Oh, let's see. I had someone at the door, and I wasn't expecting anyone. It was my wife that went for a walk. All right, so goblins. Tormod's Crypt is like the only thing. Furnace cycles. Overload doesn't, just kills. I guess I'm just gonna keep it like this. I don't know if there's a. I guess Overload still has the upside of doing something, but Phyrexian Furnace just cycles, I guess. I'm gonna keep this. It's very good to have an answer to Lackey on turn 1, so I will block your goblin. I wonder if it makes sense to even like not attack. Like if you know the result, the end result is this. Rishadan Port. Alright, so they're gonna port me, I guess. If I draw a mountain. Oh, it didn't, so I'm just gonna wasteland them. Like if I draw a mountain, maybe just play the Lavamancer and just get ported one more time, but I don't think so. So I can port them. Where were you last turn? I think it's totally random. Do the 2 fetches if they don't have anything going on. Or just like a war chief here. Yeah. Alright, so I can bolt the thing. If I draw another stone ring, it would be awesome. Pillage. Unfortunately, I can't cast both. And I do have to Lavamancer. Alright. And yeah, it was like stone ring because of the prohibiting double red cost there. They don't cast anything busted here. Goblin Matron. We're gonna go with Matron. Mogg Fanatic maybe. I only have 4 mana, 4 lands in play. Alright, so this Lavamancer is not long for this world. Earthquake. Earthquake is interesting against goblins, right? Alright, so I'm going to do this. And I'll swing for 2. Alright, question is if I even want to pay for these Avalanche Riders. I guess it depends how much they do now, because so Avalanche Riders in a way makes them have to overextend. Because they a 2/2 generally bigger than any of the goblins that they have. And that's I think what I want them to do since I have Earthquake in hand. I'm not gonna cast anything. I guess no, I'll try to kill that. I think preserving my life total is very important. Gem Palm Incinerator. Okay. Yeah. That's another play the Fanatic. Hold on a second. Let me see how I want to tap for this. I really want to try to Rishadan Port them, so I'm gonna just hope that I draw any lands here. Incinerate. That's not bad. And I'm just gonna keep my 2/2 wall in front of them. I only have 3 lands. Another war chief. All right. Let's say that like the being a 2/2 in a world of 1/1s makes you king or something like that. Is this how the saying goes? What is the saying? Maybe just in Brazil. In a world of blind people, the person with 1 eye is king. Ooh. All right. I think I just want to do this. Is this the best route to this? Maybe I just try to close the door and. All right, so Firebolt this thing. I'm missing for 2. All right, I think that's what I'm going to try to do. I think I'm going to try to close the door before goblins can find a way to get back into this game. I believe if I draw another land destruction card, I think I'm in very good shape. All right, so they're going to swing for 1. Are we racing now? But the problem is that Ghitu Encampment can never attack with this card on the other side of the board, right? Another Avalanche Riders would be awesome, but I think the place should just back with these 2. Put them at 10. Alright, so I'm just gonna do this. Sorry about that. This last round, somehow I got all the notifications possible here in my house. Because it's Magic Online, I'm gonna do it this way. That's 5, right? Like we'll put them at 2. I think that's game then. Yep. Them at 2. I'm gonna Earthquake for 2. And it doesn't even kill my factory. All right, cool. So finally got a trophy with this thing. I guess I'll post this somewhere. So pretty sweet list. I don't remember if this one was one of the lists that I was working on or if it was someone else's list. I'm pretty sure someone else's list. It's probably not mine. This is too good to be one of my lists. Oops. Like how Magic Online is gonna put the. I didn't mean to put a trophy like that, but it looks cool. I think like that. So let me just close this real quick. Stop the counts. Yeah, so I had a couple of different ideas for today's video. The other one was mono red control list that I believe this was one of Phil's wins list from a long time ago. There's like other different versions of Ponza that I had on my account. I don't remember which ones it was here, but okay, that's besides the point. But this one here looked the most interesting. You had what I really wanted. Like you had a good number of land destruction cards. Actually, I just realized I was only playing 3 Stone Rings. I thought it was 4. But like Pillage is more versatile, of course. Avalanche Riders, I think 3 is probably the correct number. Being a 61 card deck, not really sure about that one. And so I played a bunch of Ponza like when it was in standard. I remember like when I think Tempest Block rotated out, I played a bunch of Ponza. Also like played a type of a Ponza deck at Nationals in Brazil, but it was like a black and red Ponza in Saga block construct. And I think that's when like I started liking playing Avalanche Riders. Was in that tournament. I think I've mentioned a few times that in Premodern, a lot of decks somehow interact with the graveyard. And so having the 4 copies of Phyrexian Furnace in the main deck, I think it's pretty cool in this deck because we're running 26 lands here. So having the extra mana to just cycle this if you want to, like let's say in a matchup that really doesn't matter, like in Goblins this last round. So just having the extra mana to cycle seems fine. It's just a 1 mana artifact anyways. and you don't have to cast this if it's not in your opening hand. If the game goes long, again, you can just for 2 mana you can cast it and cycle it. So it's not obviously the worst. And if your opponent is playing a deck that cares about the graveyard, then it's a card hoser. We saw like the round versus elves. I played a lot of on this side of the table against elves and with elves, and we know that elves, when they have survival plus squeeze, it's like it's a whole different deck, right? The way that they are able to generate so much advantage. So having Phyrexian Furnace in the main deck, I think it's great. And then having 4 copies, I think it just covers so much that it opens up so much space in the sideboard. In this case, we don't have to have any more copies of Phyrexian Furnace in the sideboard or a Tormod script. So I think just having the 4 copies in the main deck is just very, very good. The man lands, of course, that's our very good plan, especially since we have like one that's in the colors that we're playing, which is just Ghitu Encampment. Then the 4 Rishadan Ports and 4 Wastelands. And now it sounds like I'm doing like an intro again, but I'm just observing this deck, and it's just Ponza is a sweet deck in my opinion. The removal spells, like it's interesting numbers. Like the lightning bolts, of course, the most efficient one that we have, so that's obviously gonna have 4. The Firebolts, they surprisingly felt really good in this league. Just being able to like rebuy, and again, anything that costs a lot of mana, it's fine because we are running a deck that has 26 lands, right? So like, even if I never drew a Shard Phoenix, but I'm pretty sure it's not too hard for this deck to just do the recurring thing and like be an every turn Pyroclasm. And our lands don't really sacrifice themselves, like so it's just like Wastelands and Barbarian Rings. So the 2 Incinerates, it was definitely the card that I was least happy to draw, but I can see it like just being something that's necessary. There were some games that even against the blue-white control deck, right, being able to kill like a an Exalted Angel would have been clutch. Obviously I was able to stop them from ever flipping it, but it would have been good to have another piece of removal spell. The fact that a creature can be regenerated this turn also came up like against the elves matchup, like with the Mastic War. Thanks to Incinerate plus first strike from Ghitu Encampment, I was able to kill the Mastic War. So that was an interesting case that Incinerate was actually good. And I don't know if, again, I don't remember if this is a list that I got from someone else or if I found it online or if it was something I was working on, but the sweepers, I think it's interesting that we have 1 copy of each. Like it's an Earthquake, as a Shard Phoenix, and a Pyrokinesis. This reminds me of like legacy lists that I build sometimes, that like I have 3 or 4 cards that do similar things and you're not sure which one you want, so you just play 1 of each. Usually those things are more they make more sense when you're playing like a blue deck, that you get to see more cards, like even in Premodern, like when decks just draw tons of cards like Factor Fictions and Gushes and stuff. In a mono red deck, this makes less sense because in 5 matches that I played, I never saw these 2 cards, and I only saw Earthquake 1 time. But to be fair, in the last round, I think Shard Phoenix, Pyrokinesis, or Earthquake would also, all of them would have been good. Obviously, Earthquake just ended the game, but I think Shard Phoenix or Pyrokinesis would also be equally good against. Now, Pyrokinesis obviously is very good against goblins, and Shard Phoenix is also good against goblins. So I guess kind of to reinforce the point, like those 3 cards do similar things, and obviously we can't fit all of them in the deck. So like having a copy of each, I guess, kind of makes sense. I don't know. It is funny that there are no more copies of sweepers in the sideboard, but I think it makes sense to have a very strong blue matchup. We didn't get paired against any Phyrexian Dreadnoughts in this league, but I would imagine that you probably need to draw multiple copies of these cards to be able to beat a Dreadnought, right? Because the main deck is just super soft to like a turn 2 Dreadnought, right? I think you probably just have to concede. The only thing you've got is a Pillage that is a 3-mana spell when you're trying to resolve a 3-mana spell against a deck that's running possibly Days and Foils, and no, it's just not going to happen. So it makes sense to have a lot of Boil. I don't even think it's good against Dreadnought, but like these cards here are. And then we have Anarchy for things like Circle of Protection Red that I did not bring against my blue-white opponents. I believe maybe if we had gone to game 3, maybe I would have brought it in. But yeah, so yeah, pretty happy with the 5-0. First league that I played in the new season of Premodern or Magic Online. I think actually not just Premodern. I think they reset all the leagues too. I will probably be also recording a legacy video like in the next couple of days. I've been looking at the schedule for the challenges online, and I think I might try to be able to fit either I think there's a Premodern one during the day on Tuesdays, I think, and there's also like a legacy one during the day on Wednesdays. So I'm going to try to fit one of those in my schedule, and so maybe I might have some like more challenge gameplay videos. Well, that's it for me for today, and hope you guys enjoyed it. If you haven't hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, leave your comments below. I love to hear feedback, of course, on all the decks that I play, all the plays that I make. And if you haven't checked out yet, we also just dropped a new Call of the Herd episode. It's a very long one. We had Elliot Fisher on the cast. He's TOing. He's a TO for Premodern events in Vancouver, or in the Vancouver area. I believe that's what he said. And he also mentioned a couple of other Premodern events that are happening in Canada. So go check it out. I think it was a very fun one. We discussed some even some strange rules that can happen in Hermit's Fab. We talked about a bunch of stuff like the bannings and the most recent event that happened in Vancouver. I mentioned some of the decks that I've been excited to play now that we have tied out of the format. So go check it out. I think it's a very fun one, and I understand it's a very long episode, but I believe that it was a very entertaining episode for anybody that's interested in Premodern. All right, and with that being said, I'll see you guys next time. Thanks for watching, and see you later.